Okay, earlier you saw me take a ring from our lovely assistant and vanish it. Well, she's gone, and we're doing the explanation, so I borrowed a ring from the cameraman. Now, if I screw this up, he can't go home. But let's show you how I did that vanish. You take the ring, you hold it at the fingertips, middle finger, index finger, and thumb. Hand is empty, holding it tight. My ring finger and my pinky stay behind in my hand, and that gives the illusion. It's very important. Hand comes down, ring goes right under my watch. I do a wrist kill, I tap and snap, and then I show my hands completely empty. And the ring is secured right underneath my watch. Look at that, you can't even see it. Now, if you're wearing long sleeves, what happens is you take your hands, after you've shown them empty, there's a couple of things that go on. Let me just show you one little subtlety. Suppose when I vanish the ring or coin, I don't get it in all the way. And I pull this out just so that I can show you. What happens is, you do a wrist kill, you do a snap. The snap is the subtleness of the magic now happening. You show it up first, and the reason I show it up first is because if I don't catch this ring or coin like I want to, I still have an opportunity to shove it in there by pushing my hand back toward me, and that helps to put that coin or ring back where it belongs because you don't want it to fall out. So you vanish it, tap it, snap, because now the magic has happened, show it up. If it's not where you need it to be, your hand comes back and you show it again to the audience. And so now they can see your hands are completely empty. And then when you put your hands to your side, if you're wearing long sleeves, your shirt's going to come right over it, or your jacket. But again, if you're not wearing it and you're doing it in short sleeves, this is still a very magical effect because now you've vanished the coin. And again, if it's not in there properly, I simply go here and here, and now they see just an empty hand. Now look at this. I've been demonstrating this and I didn't put it in all the way, and that ring is not going anywhere. So give it a little bit of practice. I'll try it one more time just so you'll see. Borrow the ring, borrow the coin, whatever you want to do. Fingertips goes in. Ring finger and pinky stay behind as the middle finger, index finger do all the work. Tap it, give it a snap, boom, vanished. Now there it is. I've done this about 1,000 times, so I rarely miss it. And so when you practice this, watch TV, take a ring, take a coin, and during the commercial, just practice it 10 times during the commercial, and then go back to watching TV, and then put it down. Again, the way I'd like to practice is I'll do it and do it and do it, keep practicing, then I'll go to a magician friend, I'll do it in front of him. If I get past my magician friends, then I know that I'm ready to perform it for lay people. Practice, practice, practice. Thank you very much. Okay, so now you've vanished her bill, and I use an egg for this, but you can certainly use any item you want to. An egg for me is very dramatic, especially when it comes. So once you have let your spectator choose whatever egg they want to choose. Sometimes I'll use a basket of eggs. Sometimes I will use the whole carton or whatever it comes in, a 6-pack or 12-pack of eggs, and then I'll let them choose it. So they give me the egg, and I really reinforce the fact that, listen, if you're not happy with this egg, get another one. And so they've finally chosen the egg. You take it in your clean hand, you place it into your dirty hand. Now look the way I've placed this egg. Now, I've got a bill under there that you can clearly see, but I place it right on top. And look at that. It's incredible. So now everyone can see that this is an egg. It looks really close. I can show that egg quite easily. Now here's the thing. When you get ready to crack it, I take it, I keep it facing the spectator as I'm holding it just like this. And so now, this is what I see. Spectator doesn't see anything but this. This is what they see. I see that? You can't even see that there's a bill behind it. I take the egg. Again, let me show you how I pick it up. Egg gets placed into the dirty hand. Show the hand empty. Turn it around, holding the bill. Holding it clear. And so now when I break it on the glass, here's the thing you want to remember. I use 2 taps. As she's holding the glass, I tap it the first time just because I want her to get used to what is going to happen. Because the last thing you want to have happen is for her to drop the glass right when you are getting ready to do it. So, oh, we have a magical glass. So first, I tap the glass slowly, and then the second time, I really give it a decent crack, and I have the egg fall, and when the yolk falls, the bill falls, and you're going to be left with shell in your hand, but you let the shell fall last into the glass, and the yolk will be there with the schmutz and the egg and the shell and all of that stuff. Then sometimes I'll use a pair of tweezers and I'll give it to the spectator and let them take it out. Sometimes I'll go out and get it myself and show all of the schmutz all over the egg, opening it up, exposing that this is the bill that they've either signed or the serial number has been registered. So that is what it looks like from your perspective. I hope you enjoy this trick. By the way, the premise, the idea of this particular trick, having a bill come out of an egg, goes back to 1850s. There was a magician by the name of Alexander Herman who did this trick. And what he did was he used a gentleman's glove, and he would vanish the glove, and then he would have the glove appear inside of a walnut. So, oh my gosh, I don't know if you guys can hear that noise through the video, but we're in the middle of a storm, and so don't be alarmed, we're pretty safe. It's just that the wind is howling about 60 miles an hour. So if you don't see me after this video has been produced, then you know we got caught in a windstorm. But other than that, enjoy the trick. Thank you. Hi, I'm George Bradley. I want to show you the Nowhere Vanish from the audience perspective. It's a very cool visual vanish. Let me show it to you. You show the front and the back of the bill, showing your hands quite empty. Give it a fold, give it another fold. Again, each time you fold, I like to show my hands quite empty. It's just a way of reinforcing it to the spectator. And that's the Nowhere Vanish. Now, we're going to show you the Nowhere Vanish from the back, from my perspective, or the performer's perspective in just a second. This is what you would see as the performer. You have the bill. It doesn't really matter what denomination it is, of course. And so for those of you who are out there who are familiar with the thumb tip vanish, the fold that you would use is exactly the same fold that you would use if you were using a thumb tip. And so let me tell you exactly what that is. I like to show both sides of the bill. So I go from my left to the right, squaring up the bill, then I go up, making sure the bill is tight. And each time I do a fold, I like to display my hands so that they can see that there's absolutely nothing in them. Folding it one more time, left to right. Again, displaying my hands very slowly. Folding the bill up again in half. Now, if you look at the bill that's folded at this point, you see that these are all of the ends of the bill. What I like to do is then turn it over, because that also flashes the denomination, so that never leaves the spectator's eyesight. Show your hands open once again. And now when you're holding it from fingertip, thumb, middle finger, thumb. So what happens is, understanding that the larger motion hides the smaller motion. Now I'm going to do it slow, and then I'll do it again even slower. What I do is I shake, and as I shake the bill, my left thumb will come over and grab the bill and slide it into my ring finger, which is here. Again, this is what it looks like. The bill is shaken. The spectator doesn't see this. This is what you see, of course. And as I shake, my left thumb comes out, grabs the bill, lays it right into the pocket of the ring finger of my left hand, keeping your hands slowly spread apart, showing your hands up, showing it down. And what the audience will see, and you'll see it from the other perspective, is the Ramsey subtlety of having just see the palm of your hands and not the underside. One of the things that you want to take into consideration is when you're doing this vanish, you want to make sure that your dirty hand, and this is what we call in magic the dirty hand, because it has the prop or the bill or the coin, whatever it is that you're vanishing. You want to make sure that the dirty hand is at cheek level to your spectator. This way there's absolutely no chance of your spectator finding out that there's actually something in your hand. One more time, a little bit slower. You have the bill. You fold the bill, turning it back and front so that they can see it. Left to right, going up, keeping your hands open each time, folding it over, displaying it, turning it around. I like to keep this part to the front, doing a small shake. Left hand, left thumb goes in, rubbing the fingers together, up and down. And then you take your hands and they leave the eyesight of your spectator. Okay, now that you've seen it from the audience perspective, and you've also seen it from your perspective, the performer, let's go over some of the nuances of it. First of all, I do this all the time. I use it for coins, I use it for bills, I use it for rings, I use it for candy, which is a very cool thing. So if you're a child performer or you're going over someone's house and you have a piece of candy, you can place it into the nowhere vanish for the sake of this conversation. And you have a little kid, you can do something like this. I like to show the subtlety of the clean hand first, putting it into the dirty hand, taking it back into the clean hand, producing the bill, or the candy rather, in this particular case. Now here's the thing. I'm going to jump around just for a moment, so stay with me. This is not a knuckle-busting trick. Anyone can learn how to do the nowhere vanish with coins, with candy, with a bill, with a ring. There's a subtlety of psychology that is associated with this vanish. So you folded the bill. Now, understanding that the larger motion hides the smaller motion. I talked about it in conjunction with showing you how the bill is vanished when you were looking over my shoulder, and I talked about it when you were doing it from the audience perspective. I'm going to do it one more time. The subtlety is that they actually see the bill, and you've shaken the bill, and now you've vanished it. Boom, boom. So now here's what happens. There's only about a second and a half before the audience member realizes that the bill has vanished and they've got to figure out where that bill is. You've done this, you're showing your hands quite empty. Again, a second and a half is not a lot of time. So what you need to do is a couple of things. Depending on your circumstances, this is what you do. If they are close enough to you, you touch them, and I like to do it with the dirty hand, on the shoulder, and you say, hold on, let me show you something. If the person is not there and they're not close enough to that they can be touched, because what happens is psychologically, when you touch them, the brain automatically focuses on that touch and not necessarily the vanish of the bill or the coin or whatever it is that you vanish. So if you're not in a position to touch them, to have them move into a position, then what you do is you do a little spot in the air. So I vanished the bill or the coin. Remember, a second and a half. So then you say, hey, watch this. You're showing your hands empty in the same manner that you would do with Ramsey's subtlety. You can do it with a clean hand or you can do it with a dirty hand. It does not matter. You show them a point. A point of contact now is that index finger. Watch this. And so then you can grab something from the air, and I'll talk about the psychological effect of this. Empty hand grabbing something from the air, putting it into the dirty hand, showing the empty hand again, picking it up, and then producing the bill or whatever it is you have. Let me walk you through this. This is extremely important. You vanished it, second and a half, which is not a lot of time. Show them the point, either with the dirty hand or the clean hand, doesn't really matter. Grab something from the air. Now I'm going to stop right here. Now what happens is, from your spectator's perspective, they see an empty hand going out grabbing something from the air. Their eyes send a message to the brain, empty hand. They're not concentrated on the dirty hand yet. Empty hand, eyes send message to the brain, empty hand. Empty hand puts it into the dirty hand. Empty hand shows again, picks it up, shows it one more time. Now what happens is the second time, your eyes send another message to the brain, and the message it sends this time is yet a second empty hand. Now your eyes don't know how to count. It relies on the brain to send the appropriate message to the eyes to say 2 empty hands. And so what you do is fool the brain by showing the empty hand and having some misdirection. And the misdirection is having this motion in the dirty hand, grabbing it again, showing yet an empty hand, putting it together, and producing the bill or the candy or the coin. You fool the eyes to send a different message to the brain. The psychological effect of this is that they will swear that they saw 2 empty hands and not 1. But you're showing the same hand over and over again. But it's the subtlety that will actually make this trick work for you. If you understand the subtlety of fooling the brain and tricking the eyes into counting the same hand twice, this will be an incredible trick for you. Again, it doesn't matter whether you use candy or bills or coins. It's a nice effect. So I hope you give it the appropriate attention. It's something that's very cool to do. So thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the trick.